I'm Victoria and this is What Victoria Read. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing my April Could Be Read TBR. I talked quite a bit in my March TBR about how I feel about my TBR at the moment and how I struggle when I have books on there for what feels like too much time for me. I'll link that video because I'm in a bit of a weird mood when I'm filming today and I feel like I might just all waffle on. I've just filmed a clip for my March wrap-up vlog that was about 10 minutes long and I don't really think I said very much in it. So I will try and keep that to a minimum in this video. So I will link you my March TBR where I kind of explained a bit about how I've been feeling at the moment. I'm basically going to repeat what I did for my March TBR, which is that I picked out some books that I could read and kind of have used that as like a smaller TBR to choose from the month. So these are the books I'm hoping to get to, but I won't necessarily read, if that makes any sense. So I've got 2 arcs, including 1 carryover from March, 1 from my reread pile because I'm trying to reread 1 book a month, and then I picked 6 books from my oldest books, basically my 6 oldest books on my TBR. I feel like that didn't make any sense, but we'll talk through the books and hopefully it will make more sense as we go. So in April as well, I have 2 weeks of teaching and 2 weeks of holiday. Is that right? No, I have a week of teaching, then 2 weeks of holiday, then another week of teaching, something like that. There's the Easter holidays in the middle, which has got 2 weeks in it, and I have big plans for my April Easter holiday. And I've not talked about it online at all, mostly because I'm terrified that if I talk about it, it'll get cancelled. So that's the only reason why I'm kind of keeping it quiet what I'm doing, but I do have some big plans for April and I'm really excited about them. And so even though I'm going to have 2 weeks of holiday, I feel like reading might not happen as much. There might not be as much reading happening. Reading and books will be the focus of a lot of that time, but I don't know that much reading will actually happen. So I'm trying to like give myself some options, take the pressure off and just have these books to hand so that I can grab the next one as I need it. So the first one that I've got is a book that was on my March TBR and I'm filming this right at the end of March. I'm currently definitely going to finish 1 more book and then I've got another that I've just started. I'm not sure if I might need to carry that over as well, but this one definitely won't get started and finished in the month. It won't even get started, I don't think, and that is The Midwife by Trisha Cresswell. This was an arc that was very kindly sent by Book Break and it came out on the 17th of February, so I'm a very bad book vlogger, booktuber. And I'm really excited for this. I don't know why I haven't picked this up yet. So we are in 1838 and a woman is found on the beach, on the moors. What do I know? On the Northumberland moors. She can't remember anything. She doesn't know how she got there, who she is. The only thing she can remember is she has midwifery skills. We're also then jumping forward to 1841 and we've got a male midwife living in London. And we're trying to work out how the two are connected, and it sounds really good. And I know that Aoife from Words of Clover really enjoyed this, and usually when she really enjoys books, that's a really good sign for me. And I don't know why I didn't pick this up in March, but I haven't, so it will roll over into April and it will be a top priority. I've even already got my bookmark in here that Chloe from Chloe Reads Books sent me this month. So that is the first one, and that's definitely really high priority. Then the other arc that I've got is Vladimir by Julia May Jonas, also sent to me by Book Break. This comes out in May, so if I read this in April, I will actually be on time. And this is to do with the Me Too movement, and I think it's a beloved English teacher. So we're following a female English teacher, and her husband is accused in the wake of the Me Too movement, but then it also turns out that she's got some secrets of her own, and I think this is going to be really dark and quite hard to read, but really fascinating. I also much prefer the British cover, the American cover. I saw Jessie from Bow Ties and Books haul this book recently, and I will put their haul in the description because I loved that video, but they have the American cover and it's so ugly. Like, I don't say it very often, but man, that's a bad cover. This one I much prefer. So yes, that's another arc that I will hopefully be reading this month. And then my reread for the month, so again this will be high priority and I will probably start my month with this, is Hamlet by Maggie O'Farrell. I love this book. This book, a bit like The Pull of the Stars, which I read in March, has like a tiny piece of my soul in it, I'm convinced. I recently watched Danny read this for the first time in a vlog, and again I will link that in the description, and she was talking about how it's her book, and I'm sorry Danny, no, this is my book. This is a book for me. This is following the real life story of Hamlet, who was William Shakespeare's son, who died at the age of 11 from the plague, and it's following the family and looking at grief and the different ways that the family grieve their loss. And I read this, I think in 2020, yes, because it won the Women's Prize in 2020, and I read it towards the end of 2020 and just adored it, and I've not read it since, and I'm quite scared to pick it back up again because what if it's not as good second time round? I think it will be, but I'm going to be brave this month and read this. This one was actually picked out for me by my husband from my reread stack. He just gave me a random number between 1 and 9, and he picked 8, and it was this one. And also, like, I'm fully obsessed with this book. So like I said, I am a bit scared. I've not actually read any other Maggie O'Farrell because I loved Hamlet so much. I'm just putting the cover back on, and we will see how I get on rereading this book that, like I said, I feel has a part of my soul in it. So we will see how that goes. And then I just picked pretty much at random, like, the oldest 6 books on my TBR. So I think I bought myself 2 of these. 2 were gifted and 2 were sent by Book Break because, like I said, I'm a really bad booktuber. I am always eternally grateful to get sent books for free. And like I said in my March TBR video, like, one of the things that I really struggle with is when I don't keep up with reading books I've been sent, because I feel like other people could have had them and enjoyed them rather than just sitting for months on my shelf. But anyway, we're getting to them now. Okay, so the first book, which is one that I picked up again when I was in Oxford with Charlotte, is Luck and Booth by Jenny Fagan. Look at this cover. I will fully admit that it was the cover that made me do it because it's just hypnotic. I bought this, didn't know anything about it really other than it's creepy and it's set in Edinburgh, and then it started getting loads of hype, and I've seen really good high praise for this, that it's creepy. So it says, Jessie, the Devil's daughter, arrives on the doorstep of an imposing tenement building and knocks on a freshly painted wooden door. She's been sent by her father to bear a child for a wealthy couple, but when things go wrong, she places a curse on the building and all who live there, and it lasts a century. Caught in the crossfire are the residents of 10 Luck and Booth Close, and they all have their own stories to tell. While the world outside is changing, inside, the curse creeps up all 9 floors and through each door. Soon the building's longest kept secret, the truth of what happened to Jessie, will finally be heard. And I literally read that, stood in a bookshop with Charlotte, and I was like, yes, I need this book. So it's probably a weird one to choose when spring has like fully sprung. It's probably more of a like October read, but I'm reading it anyway, and I'm excited for it. So there's that one. I then also picked up The Mercies by Karen Millward Hargrave, purely because I saw Aoife from, oh, I still got a sticker on it, Aoife from Words of Clover really enjoy this, and I saw it in Waterstones again when I was in Oxford with Charlotte, because look at the sprayed edges. I mean, like, sprayed edges and, like, is this stenciled edges? This is a thing of beauty. I feel like I shouldn't be allowed to read this edition because I will definitely mess it up. I've read one Kieran Millward Hargrave book and I didn't love it, but this one sounds really good. So it says, the storm comes in like a finger snap. Winter 1617, the sea around the remote Norwegian island of Vardø is thrown into a vicious storm. A young woman, Maren, watches as the men of the island out fishing perish in an instant. Vardø is now a place of women. 18 months later, a sinister figure arrives. Absalom Cornet has been summoned to bring the women of the island to heel. With him travels his young wife, Ursa. In her new home and in Maren, Ursa encounters something she's never seen before, independent women. But when Ursa finds happiness, even love, Absalom sees only a place flooded with a terrible evil, one he must root out at all costs. This was a huge book last year and I just didn't get to it. And it's been blurbed on the front by Madeline Miller, so that's all good. And this was, as it says on the sticker, which I need to get rid of, a Waterstones exclusive. The cover, the sprayed edges, and Aoife, maybe do that one. Then I've got a book I was sent. Yes, this was from the wonderful Mel at a book fiend named Mel, who was also the reason that this was on my TBR in the first place. So she did a video ages ago, like an embarrassingly long time ago. Oh, you just got to see my Christmas pajama bottoms there, lucky you. An embarrassingly long time ago, where she recommended books to booktubers, and this was the book she specifically recommended to me, and I put it on my wish list at the time. And then she was very kind enough to send it to me for my birthday, and she said, happy birthday, lovely, I'm sure you aren't at all surprised that this is the book I'm buying for your birthday. I really hope you enjoy it. Lots of love, Mel. And I've actually already started this at the time of filming this video. I found it on Scribed and I was like, perfect, because this is basically a Sherlock Holmes not retelling. We're following Mary, what is her name? Russell. Mary Russell. It's the first in the series. And she literally stumbles across Sherlock Holmes on the moors one day, and it's about her becoming his apprentice. He's an older Holmes, he's in his 50s, she's a 15-year-old girl, and it's all about kind of their relationship, their friendship, and her starting to work with him, I think. And like I said, I'm reading this on audiobook at the time I'm filming this, which is at the end of March, but this will be my first audiobook for April. And what I really like is it starts with this author's note, and it basically says, was it this bit? No, it was this bit. So the editor's preface, it says, the first thing I want the reader to know is that I had nothing to do with this book you have in your hand. So it's kind of presented by the author, Laurie R. King, as if they have been sent a manuscript and they are presenting the manuscript to the reader, and the manuscript is written by Mary Russell. And this is the first in the series. I'm really enjoying it so far. There is something kind of Agatha Christie, kind of old-fashioned, but in a really good way about it. I already really like Mary Russell as a character. She's really strong-willed and feminist and takes no rubbish, and she is definitely a match for Sherlock Holmes, and I'm just really intrigued to see where this goes. I don't even know what the central mystery is that we're following. I'm just having a blast following along. So yeah, I'm only about an hour in, so only about 10% of the book, and that will definitely be my audiobook for April. Then I've got a book my brother gifted me. This he gave me was one of the books he gave me for my birthday, and this is A Manual for Cleaning Women, by Lucia Berlin, with a foreword by Lydia Davis. And I don't know anything about this except my brother always puts a post-it note in. He said, you mentioned you wanted to read more short stories, which is true. These are so vivid and the prose is beautiful, and I found the stories very surprising. I wondered what you would think. And that's always enough to make me want to read a book. If he enjoyed it and he's interested to see what I think, yes please. So this is a short story collection, so I will have a go at that. And then 2 more books that Book Break sent me months ago. The first of those is Magma by Thora Hawler's something daughter. I will find out how to say that word. This is translated, I think. And this is about an abusive relationship. So 20-year-old Leela is in love. She becomes smitten with an older university student, and then it says his acts of imperceptible abuse continue to mount as their relationship develops. Desperate to rationalise his behaviour and be the perfect lover, I think it's Leela gradually permits him to cross all boundaries, unable to break free from the toxic cycle. And then an unexpected ultimatum, an all-consuming love, or the promise of a life reclaimed. And yeah, it's described as urgent and visceral. And when I saw that on the description, I was like, yes, please. And yeah, this is the author's first novel. So it's short. I feel like it's going to pack a punch, and I'm really intrigued by this cover. I've seen a few people talk about it, but not that many. So I'm intrigued to see what I think. And then the last book on my TBR is going to be, or on my could be read, because I'm trying not to put pressure on myself to read all of these books, is The Painter's Friend by Howard Connell. And again, this was a finished copy I was sent ages ago, so thank you very much, Book Break. And this is about a painter called Terry Godden, was on the brink of his first success. After a violent crisis, he finds himself outcast. In his 50s and with little money, he retreats to a small island. Arriving in the winter, the island at first seems a desolate and forgotten place. As the seasons turn, Terry begins to see the island's beauty and discovers that he is only one of many people who have sought refuge here. These independent outsiders, all with their own considerable struggles, have made a precarious home. And it says, The Painter's Friend shows the human cost of gentrification for those dispossessed. The novel also explores the role of art in protest and asks who gets to be an artist and what they owe in return. So yeah, this seems really interesting. I've not read this author before. Oh, it's got a nice kind of grey cover. And yeah, I'm just intrigued to give that a go. So yes, that was sent to me by Book Break. So those are the books that I could read in April. I would say of these, I will definitely read Hamlet, because that's my reread. I will definitely read The Midwife and Vladimir, because those are arcs that I've been sent. I will definitely read The Beekeeper's Apprentice. I'm really excited for Luck and Booth. I'm intrigued by the Mercies. I'm going to end up trying to read all of these. Short story collection is going to be a good idea for me this month because of something that I'm doing. And then these two have been on my TBR for ages, and I feel like I need to get to them. So let's see what happens. If you have got to this point in the video, please leave me the blue heart emoji for this stunning cover. This is one of my favourite covers of all time. My copy is slightly damaged. I feel like I might need to get a new copy once I've read this one. Anyway, blue heart emoji, please, for this stunning cover. Drop me a comment and tell me which book you think I should prioritise from this stack. Please subscribe if you would like more of this chaos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, everyone. Bye.